Tell us about your fashion style.
It's quite simple. It's quite simple. I want to keep it simple always. And as I said, always. At any time. So keep it simple. My fashion sense is also simple. I like it simple. Not too much, not too less. So just everything in moderation.
Would you also agree that your growing up in Ibadan also, in a way, shaped you in terms of your style, your attitude to life, and things like that?
Yeah, greatly. Greatly. Sometimes I'm like, I remember when I first moved to Lagos and I see people, excuse me, I see the way people sometimes react to one another. It used to be a bit somehow for me to accept. Like waking up in Ibadan and you're walking your street, you have to greet everybody. Nobody is going to teach you to greet people. So if some people that I first met and, you know, rolling with when I came to Lagos, probably they will call me Arokian Burger. She's always greeting everybody when she's walking past anywhere. But that's the way we were brought up. We don't see adults and just walk past them where we're coming from. You are supposed to greet everybody, whether you know them or you don't know them. And up till tomorrow, if I enter a supermarket, for example, and I see an old woman there, I will still walk up to the person and say, hello, ma, good evening, ma, good afternoon, ma. So I heard that name, Arokian Burger, from that you're always greeting people up and down. But that is what has shaped us. And when I don't see kids doing that, it feels abnormal to me that a kid will walk past you without saying hello to you. And I will call you back. It's not acceptable to me. If it's a child that I can call back, I'll call you back and tell you, come back. Have you said hello to me? You know, so it's to a large extent, my growing up in Ibadan is what has shaped me to who I am today. And I am proudly Ibadan. From both.
So how do you, oh, okay.
Undiluted.
Undiluted. So how do you relate with your classmates? A lot of them are also very distinguished women today. Your classmates at St. Anne's and at St. Teresa's and all that. How do you, are you still in touch with a lot of them?
Yes, we are still in touch. Thanks to Bidemi Olanrewaju Fagbayi now. She's Mrs. Fagbayi. She brought us together as St. Anne's group. And we just picked up as if we never left. It was quite phenomenal that people can be apart for 30 years and one day somebody will put everybody together in a group and you still form that friendship as if you were never apart for 30 years after secondary school. So I'll tell you, we are still very, very good friends with one another. Like my friend Peju Kayode that asked you to call me. She's a wonderful friend. She's been good. She's always in touch since we reconnected back. Bukola Ladapo, Jolapo Oni, Honorable Folake Olunloyo. We were all classmates and we're all still in touch. Our current president, Shade Aminu, some of them in Canada, in America, some in Nigeria. We still find time to hook up in small numbers. And we play like children. Like we were never apart for 30 years. It's been a great.
Okay. For the benefit of those watching you, especially those who are younger and who would like to maybe get tips on how to make it in the corporate world, in the private sector and all that, what will be your advice? What are the basic things that you just ask them to do that can guide them?
Number one thing I say to people is be yourself. Sit down and think. You cannot run another person's race for them. Run your own race. Look at where you want to be in short term, in long term, and drive it. If I want to be the governor of Oyo State, for example, in the next, let's say in the next dispensation, I will know what to do. I will start from my grassroots and I will start working it towards that. So when you have set that goal for yourself, your short-term goals, your long-term goal, then you drive it. Don't look at anybody. Don't look at somebody that has become something. You should be convinced that this is what you want for yourself. And with that, you work it. Work your vision yourself. Nobody's going to work it for you. Work it out and drive it.
But I was going to say that it seems there are a lot of challenges these days, and things have become a lot more difficult than it was when you were growing up and when you were. How would they navigate around all the challenges that we have today and everything?
Honestly, I could say that we had it better than they have now, because a lot of influence is from the media, what they see on the web and all that. Parents nowadays probably do not have control over what goes down or what goes into their children anymore. So because we didn't have all that distraction, we were able to play with real life people, real human beings, not virtual human beings that they are doing now. They are virtual friends. I have virtual friends and all that. A lot of people actually don't know what is in their children because of what they consume from the web. So I will say that parents should pay more attention to their children, point them to the right direction. Don't let them get away with anything and everything. Don't let them lose. We too, as children, we know that our parents didn't just allow us to do whatever we want to do. For example, we have time for study. We have time to read novels. During school sessions, my father will never buy you a single magazine or novel to read. But when we are on holidays, he will buy you that. I mean, then that was the in thing. You read the Pesitas, the James Atlee Chase and all that to keep you busy during holidays. Children nowadays are into playing games from morning till night if you don't set their hours for them. We didn't have that problem then, but it's a big problem now. And you find a lot of children don't even want to talk to physical people. They don't want to talk to human beings. They prefer their virtual friends. So parents have to regulate that and cut them out of it and mold them. You have to help them to mold into what you want them to be, because there are too many distractions that we didn't have then. So I believe that with that, pay attention to what is going on around you and correct what you can correct and leave the rest to God. It's God that can shape them, not any man or woman. So,
apart from your security business, are you still into real estate or property business?
Yes, we still do. Yes, I still do property business on the side. Okay. We do construction, we do telecom installations on the side, and it fulfills me. It fulfills me that I can still able to, if I leave my security business today, I can still go and do my projects and I'll be comfortable with it. So we're still doing it on the side by side.
Okay. But how do you also see the real estate? How do you see the real estate sector today? The development in the real estate sector?
It's worrisome for me, because we look at ourselves. Is it that the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer? Because I don't understand what is going on anymore. If you have to acquire a plot of land in Lagos, for example, let's say you want to go to Ikoyi to buy a land. For me, I believe there's something called artificial comfort. If you have to go and buy land for 1 billion, then what do you want to build on it? And then you look at the other side. You have people that are homeless, and there is nothing being done to accommodate those people that anybody can see, because I can't see it. I don't know if Mr. Sheyesh, you can see that. Because you look at it, we talk about low-cost housing, low-cost housing. Low-cost housing, look at it. The minimum you probably get is a 3.5 million low-cost housing. How many civil servants at that low-cost level will be able to afford that without stealing? So I think we have a huge gap in that. Is either the government is not doing enough to ensure that we all have accommodation, or we are overpricing or overhyping some locations to make it unachievable to certain set of people. So I'm really concerned, really. I'm actually thinking the poor are getting poorer and the rich are probably getting richer. So I don't know. Because coming from Ibadan, sorry, share. Okay. Coming from Ibadan, my parents both were civil servants. They were able to send us to school from their income, and they were able to still build a house. So we had shelter. So without stealing anything, I can proudly say that my parents did not steal anybody's money. My mom was a school teacher and she retired as an headmistress. So it's not, I mean, they were not people that were sucking up income from wherever they see or doing some side businesses here and there, but they were comfortable. When you look at it now, how much can a civil servant earn without stealing that will make them be able to put roof over their head? Government is not looking at it like that. Some years back, my mom was earning probably 40,000 naira before she retired. This was some years back. And you look at it, civil servants are still earning that kind of money in the face of the current inflation in Nigeria. How do we balance that? And I think real sector has a lot to play in this. We have to preach it. Affordable housing for everybody. Affordable housing for everybody. How do we bridge this gap? How do we collaborate with government to have shelter for everybody? I don't know when we are going to get there, but I believe it's something that is achievable and something that we can all drive. The real sector people, the real estate sector people.
Do you actually think housing for everybody is achievable?
I think so. Even if it's one room, what they are doing in UK is not rocket science. Nobody is going into space to ensure that everybody has accommodation there. And we travel there, we come back, and it seems as if we don't learn anything from them. Why do I want to have a 100-room house when somebody has no house? When somebody has no roof over them? And I'll be comfortable going around, and we are claiming that crime rate is going up. Why won't crime rate go up? When people are not comfortable, they react. They start seeing people around them as their problems. So we need to do something. It's something that it worries me, really. It worries me. And I believe that there should be a way for us to achieve that. If we say it's low-cost housing, it should be low-cost housing.
Okay. But looking at pricing of things and all that, I'm just looking at how low the cost can be that will make it affordable and achievable.
We don't have to, I don't think we have to make it the high end for people to be accommodated. And government has to play a lot of, they have to play a lot in this sector. If they are committed to having housing for everybody, like Federal Housing Authority, for example, I don't know if that still exists now, FHA. I mean, they should come up with projects. It's government land. Every land here is government land anyway. They should be able to build, even if it's one room, like they call it face me, I slap you rooms, for people to be accommodated. We know where these problems are. Then let's do something about it. Don't let's be preaching it with mouths and saying, oh, affordable housing for everybody. How many people has 3.5 million in their account in Nigeria to buy any affordable house that we are preaching? It means that we are not being realistic. We are not relating what we are talking about with the reality of our environment. You cannot be preaching affordable housing and you are talking of 3.5 million, you're talking of 11 million, 12 million. That's affordable housing in Nigeria. How many people has that money? It means that a lot of people will still be sleeping under the bridge. Then they should create a lot of shelter homes. If you don't have a home, you can walk in there and go and live there, so that we take out the people on the street. It's not, I'm not saying it's only government that will do it, but individuals also at some point should realize that we have responsibility to the society. If we want to live in a crime-free environment, then we also have to imbibe that sense of responsibility and do something about it. May God help us all.
Amen. I see a relationship between the two sectors that you play in, the security and the real estate sector. They appear to be interwoven and all of that.
Yes, it's interrelated. If people are comfortable, if they have shelter, if they can afford basic needs, you will see that crime rates will drop. And all of us will have less headache. I'll be able to drive my car without thinking somebody is going to come and attack me. And I'll be able to sleep at night without thinking somebody is going to come and break in, to come and steal my property. So we need to work on that.
But is that a better way? Is that a better way of getting the security problem resolved? Because it's getting increasingly worse by the day.
Well, you know, when people feel they are being watched, is a big deterrent to crime. For me, I think we should have camera everywhere and have control center where this is being monitored. It's very important. I'm not saying they should put camera everywhere in Lagos in one day, for example, but it's something that can be done in phases. Let's start with the major streets. We are always complaining that people get robbed, people get attacked while in their cars, in traffic and all that. We already have the street lights there, so there shouldn't be any problem of powering up the cameras. Why don't we put the cameras there and watch from the control towers to say, oh, if anything is happening in this axis, somebody can quickly react to it. So it's complementary. It's like nobody's going. I don't see people putting policemen everywhere in UK. But God help you if you break the traffic rule by not waiting for the traffic lights to pass you before you move. You know that a policeman might not be physically present, but you are going to get your ticket in your house. They will send it to you in your house. So why don't we deploy something like that? Yes, we already have the last mile on the road, but there is limitation to what the physical can do. At this time now, we should be thinking of technology-driven security. So it's not just going to be the physical. We have to deploy technology to curb crime and to also improve our security everywhere.